knowledge.
Twitch does have this knowledge, though, so maybe they can come up with a little bit of insight on that matter. And RPG decides to go for Volskaya Foundry. Ladies and gentlemen, brace yourselves for protectors, machines, and conveyor belts.
It's an RPG map choice, meaning that CE get the first pick. CE looking to recover some points, because if they lose this game, they will be only 3 points ahead of SPT, and SPT still to play, meaning SPT can close themselves to within 1 point. If CE wins, they will still have a 4-point increase over the second place SPT and the 1, meaning that they're going to be able to give themselves a little bit of safety. Well, I guess 2 points over the 1, because the 1 won their last series, so they're already on 10. No, now, they won 1, so no, they're on 9. Maths. Quick math.
Quick maths. There we go. So that must have been a wake-up call for CE, right? No longer are they going to get away with picking stuff that is cool, you know, but not necessarily competitive. No longer will they get away with underestimating their opponents. I think this is a CE that is now going to start getting into this game in 100% series mode.
So we see the Chromie. Have we seen Chromie from RPG recently? Am I missing something there?
Yes, they played it yesterday.
Ah, okay, fair enough.
They didn't win, but they played it yesterday, and obviously I think CE doesn't want to play against it. And I can't really blame them because, you know, Volskaya Foundry is one of those battlegrounds where poke oftentimes reigns supreme. And if there is any other hero that is good at poking, then that would certainly be the Chromie.
Wait, did they?
They played it yesterday in game number 2. Yeah, it failed miserably. But that was the game where they just picked a bunch of random heroes, put it all in the pot, and hoped to win it with... Oh, come on! Are you kidding me?
The Evo and the Maiev coming in for RPG.
This is getting wild now. Wild right here. Somebody call... I mean...
Pick a charity. Pick some kind of I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, you know what I hope this is? I hope this is a Warden's Cage into Ravenous Spirit.
Yeah, that's what I could very well be the case. Yeah, it could be Toad's Nazebo, which is normally the standard go-to on Volskaya because of the zoning potential, because of the siege potential, and then with a Warden's Cage on top, maybe we're going to see the Ravenous, but. Ravenous is still an ability that requires Nazebo to stand still. If he stands still, he can't use the Toads, right? If he stands still, he's susceptible to getting interrupted and maybe focused. So, is RPG going for a team fight-centric composition, or will they play Nazebo more as a split pusher, split sieger, similar to an Asmoden or a Zagara? So, that remains to be seen.
I mean, they have a Maiev. They've kind of made their intentions pretty clear, right? They want to go for fights, which is super weird. With a Nazebo, Nazebo needs to delay till the late game. Maiev doesn't really do that well.
I would actually say that Nazebo is probably in one of his worst metas right now, right? This meta definitely doesn't suit him at all. Why? Because sustained healers like Stukov and Malfurion are reigning supreme. And if there's one thing that Nazebo is good at, it is spreading damage that doesn't necessarily hit hard, but that is going to tick over time, similar to a Gul'dan or a Lunara. But Malfurion will normally shut that down. If a Tranquility is being picked, then he's going to have a really tough time to actually spread the damage. But already, I mean, how can you not agree with someone who's willing to take the Ginger Dread Nazebo to HGC?
I mean, kind of like I am right now, to be honest. In the fact that I don't know what exactly they want to do with it. So, I will hold my scorn until I have seen the rest of their draft. Let's see what they can do to empower this and make it good. I'm leaning to for some reason, I want to make June happy. I'm leaning towards an Anna. Let's just go hard on this and just have a Nano Zebo. Spiders for days.
Cho'Gall now, and then Anna on top?
Yeah. It's unlikely, but it sounds cool, right? No. Blaze Tyrael coming in. I mean, that's very tanky, very protective. It's a line. It's a front line.
But Nazebo becomes the only range damage source then. That is not something he's normally capable of doing. I mean, sure, there's tons of protection right now. There is Blaze and Tyrael. We saw at the Western Clash and the Eastern Clash how well that combo works out, but I'm starting to get a little worried about the damage output for RPG right now. The bunker and sanctification can be wonderful, of course, against the Genji if he goes in. But will they have enough damage to take down Garrosh? Like, they have no tank shredding. They have low burst ability damage. I'm not sure, Tetcher. I'm starting to get a little worried.
You're implying RPG might run a... You're implying RPG are 100% going to run a support. I think it's RPG. I think they will, but I think there's like a 2% chance that they could just not run a support and just go with that.
You mean they're going to apply a touch of method into this?
I mean, method implies that they intend to go for the core at any point. I think RPG intend to self-destruct. As we see Tassadar and probably Tracer.
Oh.
There it is for CE.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so this screams CE is mad. CE is furious. They're angry. They're trying to take back what is rightfully theirs, and they considered that first game theirs almost 100%, right? So now they're picking their absolute A game. They're picking a Luful with a Tracer. KTY's legendary Tassadar. We have Wind, the best Garrosh in the league, hands down. And then we have Genji. Wait a minute. Genji could even be played by a Luful. That is Zuyu on the Tracer.
Or Zuyu. Or Zuyu or KTY. Those three can pretty much set themselves how they wish here.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for the Tracer, I would still be pretty comfortable with the Ana. But now there's Tracer and Genji. Ana would be absolutely correct. No. So we're sticking back to normal supports again. Probably Uther, Divine Shield on something, I think. Maybe a Lucio. Just to try and out mobile the other team. Just stay mobile on the map. Sorry, I became Scooby-Doo for a second.
They're taking their sweet time. They're going all the way down to 0, and they go for Alexstrasza yet again. Alexstrasza too is quite susceptible to the Tracer. I'm not gonna lie, and Genji as well, Tetcher.
So Alexstrasza, let's count the ways she is good. Great on the objective. They have actually very decent objective control. Zoning toads, zoning frogs, zoning zombies, zoning dragon. That one sounds more impressive than the others, as she's able to do a lot of work. She is very good with the Warden's Cage, able to do a lot of damage into that and keep everyone else healed up on the inside. They have a good area control. I'm just concerned about, once again, the entire rest of the game.
I am very much concerned about for RPG. Like, as you said, whenever they're not fighting on a platform, whenever they're not fighting near conveyor belts, I think they're going to be in a pretty rough spot. All comes down to Maiev landing the Warden's Cage. I think maybe you want to say something?
I'm thinking it through while you're finishing.
Yeah. So if they don't land those Warden Cages spot on, maybe they're not even trying to go for the Warden's Cage, right? What if they want to go for the Containment Disc, trying to slow down the damage on either Genji or Tracer?
Zombie wall build. Just trap them inside.
Yeah. Containment Disc into Zombie Wall. There we go.
Okay, so here's the counter-argument. The counter-argument is, if RPG win every single Protector and then play the safest laning game of their life, they could do this. I'll finish my thought in a second. A Luful on Tracer, Wind on Garrosh, 365 on Mouth, KTY on Genji, and Zuyu on the Tassadar.
All right, Zuyu on the Tassadar after all. And RPG, the boys currently in the lead with Chicken on the Nazebo, MJ playing the Alexstrasza, Sa on Blaze, C plays the Tyrael, and Timeless on the Medivh. And we see the Pandemic come in for Nazebo. That means he's going to have to stack those frogs, so they will multiply.
Okay, here is the finishing of my thought. If RPG win the objective, which with their composition, there's a very good chance they will. They have good area control until CE gets really far ahead or is able to pick people off. CE will have a much slower beginning to the game, assuming they can't get picks. If RPG are able to get the Protector and then play the safest laning game of their life, CE's wave clear is almost non-existent. It's basically Tassadar, and that's about it. Yeah. If RPG are able to just not die and then win objectives, I can't see a way that CE would be able to come back from that. But that requires a lot of near-perfect play from RPG.
Exactly. And Chicken, I mean, how many times did we criticize him for not stepping up his hero pool? How many times did we criticize him for always playing the same heroes when Wang was still the main tank for RPG in last phase? But boy, oh boy, maybe he always had this massive hero pool, but he was just never allowed to play. Maybe it was all the teammates' fault and not his own.
We're seeing CE rotating around, looking for the opportunity to grab someone, but RPG starting off very sensibly, very safe laning setup, except for Sar, who doesn't appear to care because he is Blaze. And he clears the lane and rotates back to join his team. Interesting camp being taken here by RPG because no one is keeping vision on any kind of rotation. Tyrael finally does scout it and sees that they're not about to be instantly raided.
Justice for All, of course, keeping the minions safe up to this point, but against two heroes, there's not really much C can hope to achieve on the Tyrael. He's just having quite the good time here, chilling for a little bit. The top siege camp now also being taken for CE. They're trying to fight fire with fire, but they should let those red mercenaries come a little closer. In the meantime, while the mercenaries are going to fight each other, they're trying to go for a gank in the middle. Not successful up to this point, but basically, late game will heavily favor RPG, right? We can definitely agree. Nazeebo himself alone will be very much a powerhouse. Maiev and Blaze are going to be able to deal quite significant damage as well. And Tracer, although she is definitely nothing to be sneezed at, she doesn't really scale that much into the late game.
This has to be unstoppable, I think. Yeah, the parting gift would help you blow up the Nazeebo, but you need to be able to scale as well, and it is untouchable, not unstoppable, sorry. Yeah. So yes, you need to be able to catch up, to keep up with Nazeebo to the late game, and the odds of the enemy blowing you up unless Tyrael goes Judgment again are so low that you might as well try.
Yeah, very true. So basically, untouchable allows two scenarios. Tracer scaling much higher into the late game, which is something that's definitely requested against an Nazeebo, or she can actually snowball out of control. If she gets those stacks early on in the mid game, then she will have tremendous damage available to maybe even carry the game single-handedly. So really cool to see. But already Nazeebo going for the safest, the most defensive talent at level 4, going for the big voodoo. So the more minions he collects, the tankier and the more mana he's going to have in the process. So this is already shaping up to be quite the interesting game, Tetro. So many cool towns unlocked.
It is. We see RPG do exactly what they should be doing. Moving slowly onto the point, soaking a little bit of XP as well with the help of Blaze. Their area control, as we said before, really good. Zombie walls placed onto the objective, making the area that it's possible to fight him much lower. Timeless, trying to punish KTY for being aggressive, but Chicken playing very far back. However, well played by CE to be able to get onto the point first. This has given them a much better position, because while RPG can defend, they're not great at sieging yet.
Yeah, MJ playing very carefully, immediately realizing that Tracer could end his day. Now the boots are not landing. Here's the Dragon Queen. RPG is determined to take back control over the platform.
MJ panicking there, walking out of his own abundance, even with Genji standing right next to him, wouldn't have helped. Now we see the overtime being held. Nazeebo has returned from top lane. He was trying to soak his team level 7, now trying to do it in the mid lane. As Tyrael is focused down, C dropping low, and he will likely be taken out, especially with this pulse bomb. Down he goes, turns around, looking for the good explosion, hits nothing. And CE able to hold the control there.
Nazeebo wasn't even trying to help. He was busy dealing with the minions the entire time, and even after MJ fell... Yeah. And even after MJ fell, he was like, guys, I'm just gonna farm it up. I'm just gonna soak the level 7 as well. So just take your time. But guess what? Against a team that CE has, you can't really take your time because Genji and Tracer are always gonna hunt you down, and they're gonna take this protector eventually and snowball even further because protectors are pretty good, pretty strong objectives, right? So you take the towers in the middle, take the towers in the top lane, and boom, that's just 2,000 experience just like this.
Exactly, and grabbing the Protector was very important for CE to prevent RPG getting out of control. And I'm wondering, how did CE get level 7 first? This must have been due to RPG losing XP when they rotated for those mercenary camps that they got earlier and not staying for the amount of minion clear, which is just a little bit of a misplay and something that was one of the few things they had to avoid for this draft to work.
All right, the Fountain probably going to say goodbye here as well, just before the Protector expires. But now, of course, we have the huge toads, right? We have the big toads, the big frogs, and these will help Chicken to maybe have a little bit of a bigger impact on upcoming team fights. I do want to highlight Timeless's fabulous mechanical play, by the way. Up to this point, he always made sure that the Avatar of Vengeance was pointing in the opposite direction of which wind would toss him towards. So he only had to click E again to get back to safety. So no early garage kills, despite it got a couple of good combos, but Timeless was just too good and predicting it too well. So that's a nice little trick for all the Maya players out there.
This does mean, however, that he is using his engage ability as his escape ability in this case. as we see C getting absolutely wrecked. Second time he has died so far. Luful gets pulled in, but able to survive. And this is a second stack for a Luful. Going to be slowly, and it's going to be slowly if this game continues down this path, gaining stacks for that untouchable.
Yeah, hashtags stacks matter, you know, especially if you go for the Untouchable, one of the strongest scaling stacking talents for a Tracer in the game in general. So we see Archon, by the way, coming in there as well. No force walls. They don't have a Diablo. They don't really have anyone who would capitalize from using the walls as an interaction module here. But the Archon, of course, providing a little bit more burst damage as well, providing a little bit more damage onto the Maiev, who's probably going to be in the thick of things for the most part.
So Nazeebo sticking with the Gargantuan, going to help him get stacks, help him zone onto those points. The interesting talent, on the other hand, though, is Combustion coming in from Blaze.
Oh, wow. I didn't even see that one. I didn't even know this heroic ability was still in the game, Tetcher.
It is very uncommon, but it's, once again, even more zoning ability, but much less sustainability. So very interesting and very risky, but it does add a little bit of damage, something we were concerned they might be lacking.
That, of course, means that we're not going to have any safe escape tool for the Tracer Bomb for the Warlords Challenge. And here it comes. It hits no one except the Mercenaries.
Which will clear the lane, so value, I guess,
Value.
but not. In comes the Warden's Cage. Malfurion, a little bit of sanctification, though. And here comes the Cleansing Flame on top of it, trying to get the value. Wind dropping low here, but he's just too tanky. And Maiev is not taken out, even after a really clutch teleport back. But that is going to be a 1 for 2 in favor of CE.
In the meantime, there was a 1 versus 1 happening in the bottom lane between Zuyu on the Genji and Chicken on the Nazeebo, and they basically eliminated each other in a double KO. So all of a sudden, although RPG lost the 4 versus 4, it is only a 2 for 1 because of that double KO move in the bottom. So this game is all over the place right now.
I was wondering where that kill came from, so thank you for informing me. But the fact that Chicken was able to kill Genji is a pretty big deal, and that does give them a tiny bit of comeback XP. Level 13, though, available for CE, and that does mean, once again, RPG are going to be in the position that doesn't favor their team comp, aka if they want that objective, they have to siege into it.
Yeah, level 13 is still a little far away here for Team RPG, and as such, they will probably have no other choice than spending their time right now with either pushing or just soaking minions in general. So, let's see, Sa is in trouble, getting harassed by 2 members, but gets to safety thanks to Jet Propulsion. So RPG, they're trying to go for the latter, they're just trying to go for a little bit of soak, so they are 13 when it comes to defending the second protector. However, if they won't get any protectors, if they are purely playing for the late game, Tetra, I think they are risking of getting outscaled at some point, really, because this protector could very well just go for the next forts. Then there's going to be another protector phase before level 20, and with that accumulated experience, there's probably going to be a 16 advantage once again for CE, so I'm not sure if I like the slow and patient playstyle from RPG, but I don't think they have another choice, do they?
I mean, yeah, they have to play till late game. That is the entirety of their composition. And because their early game strategy was just completely neutered by missing XP in places and losing both of the first 2 protectors, yeah, all they can do now is just play defensively.
Okay, here goes the protector hitting Alexstrasza. You shouldn't get hit by the laser too often, but she was healing from the healing fountain, so that was at least a little something here. Sa attacks the bomb, intercepts it. 365 under pressure, but he doesn't even break a sweat. Sa alone plus the cleansing flame, that's never going to be enough to take down a mount. Yeah,
the Cleansing Flame, not even enough damage due to the 2-level difference. Chicken drops so low, but able to survive MJ with that Dragon Queen healing, keeping him alive. Maiev having to teleport back after dropping low. Protector will take down Chicken with the minigun. No, won't he get that at range?
That was huge. Chicken definitely testing his boundaries here, testing his limits. Timeless taking one of those laser beams as well. Luful, of course, doesn't have the pulse bomb. That's why he didn't even go for the killing blow here. So they defended the top keep, and that's the most important thing for RPG. As long as they maintain keeps, they don't have to worry too much about scaling into the late game. But look at the experience and how it skyrocketed away for CE. That's exactly what I was talking about. There's going to be another Protector. 16 is here now. So they may have one more chance, RPG that is, when it comes to surviving. But after that, it'll look sinister. 170 stacks. He's already there, basically. So that's already good.
Yeah, so his damage output, once we reach that late game, is going to be a lot better. He also has Ice Block now, which is going to be very helpful for, you know, the whole staying alive thing. And RPG, they are very, very slowly making their way to the late game, but they're not 16 yet. Their opponents are already 16. It's a long way for that level 20, which is when the Zebo is really going to come into his own.
Yeah, and you can really see how CE was trying to turn on the heat here, right? They were trying to get one objective after the other, one structure after the other. Much escape here by KTY, almost getting tethered back into the ranks of RPG. But now CE realizes that they want to go for a team fight. By the way, so many plat mounts. I just noticed that's a whole herd of them.
Probably Tournament Realm, as we see Timeless getting Cleansing Flame, but he is so focused down, and you immediately see Alex Strasser teleport herself right back into base by the Cleansing Flame.
Yeah, Tracer, she tried to get out of the Warden's cage, but boom, bounced to the Wardens and wasn't able to pursue any fleeing members of RPG as a result. But without Maiev, the Warden, of course, there is no way RPG can fight over those objectives. They don't have 16 either. C is just merely scouting for the good looks.
Yeah, he runs past 365, but they actually, Zuyu ran straight past him without even noticing he was there, so that was kind of funny. Tracer has been involved in all but one kill, so she currently has 5 stacks, which is going pretty well for Untouchable, as they are able to take down the final remaining 4. Yeah, 4 stacks, sorry, yeah. I can't count, so apparently 5 minus 1 is 5. Thanks, Brain, as we see them taking out the Mercenaries to get some counter pressure onto that top lane.
Okay, so 16 is going to be here shortly, and 16 already marks a pretty significant power spike for Nazeebo. He should normally go for the Soul Harvest, unless Chicken has any special plans in mind. Nope, here's the Soul Harvest, an activated battalion with no effective downtime, basically. 15 seconds duration, 15-second cooldown, so you can spam it whenever you want to. And any target, excuse me, any hostile target, be it a minion, being a structure, being a mercenary, is going to provide a stack up to 5, and that will then drastically boost Nazeebo's damage output.
Locked and Load, speaking of increasing damage output for Tracer, has already increased hers several times. One of the highest skill, in fact the highest skill level to the 16 talent for Tracer. There is the charge coming in for Saar. Looks like they want to try and turn this around. Cleansing Flame this time is super good. Where's the sack? There it is. Really nicely done as they finally look to turn around. Wind is dropping low. They're trying to get a Loophole here. Dragon Queen from behind looking for a Loophole. Genji is dropping crazy damage as well, but everyone is surviving here. No one taken out, and they just blew everything for that.
Yeah, RPG just blew their entire powder up in this one cannonball. Unfortunately, the cannonball was only partially hitting, and as such, the members of CE are able to sail away to safety. And yeah, it looked good at the beginning, right? With the Warden's Cage locking them down, the combustion hitting a couple of people, the Sanctification being online here. But when there is double support available and Tranquility actually healing most of the damage, you're not going to get that much value. Zuyu on the Tasser, by the way, wasn't even using a healing pulse. They saved it, or they were able to save it for the next Protector phase, and looks like even that one won't be contested by RPG. This is now going to be extremely tricky.
If they can get Tassadar here, that'll be pretty good. However, Tassadar, so that's not happening. Tassadar remounts up, going to be prepared to rejoin his team at the Protector as that slowly ticks up, while Garrosh has some interactive gameplay. As we see C just cleaning up. They're trying to soak as much XP as they can, because CE, when they push in, they'll be level 20 here.
Yeah, level 20 inbound, 97, 98, and there goes the Protector. They don't even need 2 people up to this point. They're already posturing up as forward, trying to weaken the defenses as much as they can before the big hitter arrives in the name of the Protector. KTY going in there as well. Garrosh and Genji inside the double G.
This could be game over. Level 20 with such a tough Protector. They begin moving in. M. David stands on the laser, dealing a big chunk, taking a big chunk of damage here. Zuyu moving forward. Once again, still has that biotic emitter. Chicken, very tanky though. He has so many stacks on Big Voodoo now. Saar looks for a wraparound position. The Gargantuan already taken out.
This is an all-in defense here for RPG. They need to hold this. They can't afford to lose any team member. Timeless dropped so low already. Saar, I wonder if all the heroic abilities are ready here at the moment, especially the Warden's Cage is going to be so huge. Nazeebo, though, good clearing. Combustion is real. Zuyu going ham at it, though, and looks like Blaze and Alex Strasser were sacrificing themselves for the greater curse, but the poison damage is too slow. The Protectors in the core. Can Maiev clean up?
She's trying what she can. Nazeebo sieging with Toads as the shield is down, but they've managed to drive back at least a couple members but they've all just turned around again. The Protector still has health, the Core does not, and that is GG. And CE able to take game number 2 in the series of 1-1.
All right, that looks